Hi guys, you're very welcome today to this podcast from NarcCon, myself and Remy. I'm trying to sit back from the camera a bit. Somebody said to me the last time I was nearly coming out of it, I was so close to it. So now I hope this gives a better angle. Without further ado, let's get into the title of this podcast, which is what happens when you expose the narcissist's, what I would call demonic stronghold. This is where you would get a group setting with a narcissist who has established a stronghold, literally, with other either narcissistic individuals or just people that admire the narcissist or want to be part of the group setting the narcissist has established. This is where the narcissist has maybe been established for years, and it could be like in a school setting, it could be in a church, it could be in the workplace, or it could be in a family setting. They've just established their dominion, their castle, and what the narcissist says goes, and they've set it up so that they've gotten rid of any detractors, of anybody who is not going to do exactly what the narcissist says. Again, you could even call it like a coven, like a witch's coven. It is a stronghold. Now, in order for this stronghold to function, there has to be food, there has to be prey, there has to be game, there has to be something that establishes the narcissist's control and power over this dominion, over this group. So what often happens, and this is why very empathic human people get enticed into these situations, just like a beautiful human will get love bombed by a singular narcissist in the romantic setting. So this group setting and coven and the narcissistic director of this theatre really search out the best possible source of supply that's going to make them look good to the outside world, that's going to prop up the mask. In other words, an individual who is very qualified at what they do. Let's just take the workplace situation. Very qualified at what they do, a person of high moral standards, of good reputation, of good interaction with people, so that clients or customers or patients or congregation members will all give good feedback on this person. Makes the narcissist look good. And this person is going to be strong, this person is going to have stamina, and this person is going to stay around and be very interesting to play games with. The narcissist will utilize this person, this form of supply, for those purposes, and then they will try and turn that person into a coven member, a member of their dominion, of their populace, a subject to their rule. If they can't do that, after they've depleted the person of their morals and their self-identity and coerced them into the corrupt atmosphere that the narcissist has fueled and fed and nurtured, they will set out to destroy that person and replace them with somebody of like ilk that starts the cycle off again. So they'll be discarding and destroying while they're love bombing the new person into the coven. Here we come to the title of the podcast. What happens when you expose the narcissist's demonic stronghold? If that person, as often is the case, goes into the job very enthusiastically, goes into the group very enthusiastically, gets invited into the family situation and is very enthusiastic and is very love bombed and is very hyped up that this is going to be a great job, great relationship, great everything. If that person, as they go along, discovers the corruption, discovers the abject cruelty, discovers the abuse, the coercive control, the subtle covert abuse that's being perpetuated and supported by a staunchly, apparently loyal group of flying monkeys positioned in various places in a kind of a pincer movement. So that when that person tries to change things or goes to try and go outside the organization, they get slapped down and reported to the narcissist. When that person, when it's maybe you, have had enough and are going to call a spade, we'll get into the fallout. How, first of all, you expose the stronghold, the demonic stronghold of the narcissist. What's the worst thing you can possibly do in that situation to a narcissist? And then, having done that, what's the fallout from that position that you can expect from a narcissist if you crumble their empire, so to speak? So the way I've looked at this is, literally an empath or a human being of empathy, their war cry to a narcissist is the holding the narcissist accountable. And I've looked at when a narcissist is held accountable, what do they do in that situation? And from that, I've gotten the most effective thing you can do to the narcissist, going on those three criteria. When you ask or say to a narcissist, you've done this, or basically hold them accountable for an action, their first port of call is to deny that what you say is true. The second, if they can't get out of it actually being true, that you bring the fact to them, is they will gaslight you and say you've got it wrong. And the third thing they do when being accused of something, if the first two don't work, and sometimes even they'll go to this third way of dealing with being held accountable, is they'll withdraw, they'll disappear off the scene. So I've taken it from that angle. If the person who's in this situation and has discovered the fake reality that they're in the workplace or whatever, and they want to get out, make sure, first of all, that you've planned your exit well and that you're not just being reactive in this situation, that this is a thought out process, that you've contemplated this, that you've looked at the repercussions and set up things to protect yourself in as much as possible. The worst thing and the best thing you can do in relation to this is when you're going to address this situation, expose the stronghold, is you call it out for what it is, whether to the narcissist or to the group or to somebody in the group that's going to pass it on to the narcissist. You no longer buy into the fakeness of the situation and you say the truth. You say, this is what's happening here. This is what you represent. This is what you're doing. So you literally state, you expose the truth of what's happening. The second thing is, instead of the narcissist gaslighting, you state the reality of the situation. You say this is not right. You call a spade, and you make that public. You make sure that other people know that you have said this. You make this a public setting, or at least so that it will get to the people that need to know. You say exactly what's happening. You call a spade. You say this isn't right. This is what's happening. And the third thing that you do, that is the worst possible thing you can do to a narcissist, because they no longer have control over you, is exactly what they do. You leave. You leave the situation. These three things together are the most damaging thing you can do to a narcissist's coven or stronghold, in that you've told the truth, you've exposed the truth, you've set reality for what it is. When they're trying to tell you this is this and you've got it wrong, no, you state reality. And then you leave so that they no longer can manipulate you or have control over you or gaslight you or say you did this to somebody else, because you're no longer there. And you're also rejecting the situation and the narcissist. And you're rejecting the fake reality, which is the hologram situation of a narcissist. Outside of their control and rejecting their false mask is the most disintegrating thing you can do. Staying and fighting is just playing into the game. It's what the theatre is set up for, the drama. Now, once you have done this, that is literally a war cry to a narcissist. You've taken away all the control. You've dismantled the fake reality. You've exposed the truth. And then you've said, you and your situation, you and your people are not good enough. I reject it. The narcissist then has to show strength to his dominions or her dominions or minions, in the dominion. They have to show power, strength, and they have to go out then to destroy you, because you've literally threatened the little incestuous, disgusting coven of abuse and covert control that they've set up in order to do the most damage, even within a community. The fallout from your actions and the way the narcissist attempts to reassert control and to bolster up their little empire is as follows. You may possibly be gang stalked. I've coached people that this has happened to. Once you've stood up for the truth and what you believe in and exposed the narcissist and rejected the narcissist and their little group, you may be gang stalked. You may be gang stalked in your home. You may have damage done to your property. You may be driven crazy by being caught alone and threatened where there's no witnesses, or having things moved around your house or garden where there's no witnesses, so that your familial relationships and friends begin to doubt your sanity because you're the only one that witnesses these things. Or if somebody else does witness them, they finally think, well, you're the common denominator. This is happening. We've moved 2 or 3 times. This keeps happening. We've moved out of state and you're still kind of saying that things are moving around the house. So maybe the problem's you. And in that way, the narcissist and the group can destroy your personal relationships after the event, after you've moved out of the work situation, out of the clergy, out of the whole narcissist coven. It can go that far if the narcissist has had wounds inflicted, whereby another result of you leaving, maybe other people leave the organization. It may give the impetus that other people see you were really good at your job. You were really strong in the situation. They liked what you did. You stood up for what was right and you've left. So your stamp of disapproval may give them the impetus to change their own lives and say, well, it wasn't good enough for her, him. It's not good enough for me either. And I think I should do. They had the courage to leave. They had the courage to do this. I think I might find some courage in myself to leave also. And the foundations of the organization that the narcissist and their cohorts control start to crumble, as people will no longer be as compliant and as yes sir, no sir, as the narcissist's power diminishes within the organization. Another fallout is that you'll be smeared, your name will be smeared, and people within the organization, anyone of any decency will hear this, will see this, and will have to wonder about themselves and the fact that the narcissist and the cohorts, who were so much your advocates at the beginning, were able to turn the tables on you so easily. Is this a safe environment for me to be in? This is just one of the fallouts, one of the possible fallouts of you taking a stand for what you believe in. The other thing that may happen, which is weird, and this depends on the level of destruction that has ensued since your exposure of the narcissist, it's possible, but not probable, that you may be hoovered back into the organization by the narcissist coming after you, or it's similar in the relationship, and saying, we understand that you're not happy with these things and we would like to improve things. We'd like to get you back in to improve things within the organization. But if they do get you back in, it's to get you back in to get rid of you in a very bad way, so that they'll be the one doing the discarding. And you could be dismissed for immoral conduct, or everything that the narcissist is accountable for will be projected onto you, and you will be the fallout and the fall guy if you do go back for the Hoover. However, that's not a probable situation. It is possible, but not probable if you've really decimated the narcissist and the organization. Another fallout is that oftentimes the narcissistic setup is set up to just stay within an nth of the law, so that they'll push the boundaries, push regulations, be very cruel in their decisions, make decisions that shouldn't be made in certain cases, that are not appropriate decisions, and that will cause destruction and fallout, but nothing that can be pinned as illegal. And then again, you have organizations where there are illegalities going on, and you may have exposed those illegalities to the law, organizations, to the police. So the fallout from that can be prosecutions. Now, you must protect yourself if you are going up against an environment that's been created of dark energy, of people that are supportive of dark energy and that are benefiting darkly from dark energy. For you to throw a light into this cave of destruction and abuse and hurt and pain that's serving these people, you are going to be the target whom they wish to destroy, so that they can feel a sense of empowerment again. They can feed on the negative energy of that, of your pain and destruction. So you make sure, before you ever go into a situation like this, where you're doing more than just telling them as it is and leaving, you be very, very sure that you're well protected, and that you are aware that there could be serious consequences to this. A lot of time, it is better to withdraw, to build yourself back up after what you've seen, and to learn from the experience, to go around the roadblock as such. And I've just discussed this today with someone. If you've put up a good fight, if you've told them that you know what it is, and you withdraw and you move away and you no longer accept what they're doing, and you take that experience, and instead of trying to shift the roadblock, you go around it and you progress on that journey, so that someday you can come back to that roadblock and blast it from the other side. Bring with you the experience. Do what you can with what you have at that moment in time, to go against what's happening while protecting yourself, to fulfill your life's purpose, to go forward and to be experienced and strong when you come up against similar situations again, to continue to be effective throughout your life. Do not destroy yourself on the first roadblock that you come across. Fight within reason, preserve within reason, and go forward. We need people who can go against this type of energy in our modern world in particular, because it is becoming more profound, more widespread, and more covert. But the good news is, the more this deepens down and becomes entrenched, the higher the people are going against it, who are human, who have humanity, who have empathy. The more of a contrast that comes, the stronger the other side gets as well. So please be one of the people that walk in the light and do what you can and use your head in these situations, because they don't want you to use your head. They want you to lose your head. I will see you again very shortly for another video. In the meantime, please take great care of yourselves, and we will meet again very soon. Bye for now.